Şimdi sırada sunumlarını gerçekleştirmek üzere Amerika Birleşik Devletleri'nden Solinger davet ediyorum.
Good afternoon or good morning, I don't know which it is. I would like to thank the organizers and the sponsors. For organizing this event, and I'm honored to be here to speak about my work in front of such distinguished people and mosaic artists. I'm going to be talking about my works. I'll give you a little background about myself. I'll show you the mosaic that I've donated to the museum, and I'll tell a little bit more about where I'm headed. So I've been doing mosaics since the year 2007. I'm a professor of biology, and for a while it was just my hobby, but now my university has recognized my work, and I do mosaics for my scholarship. What I have here are my early mosaics. I've numbered them 1 through 5. They're my first mosaics, and you can tell they're much more hobby-like. I kind of honed down my techniques doing these first pieces. I'll figure this out. And then in 2009, I copied a painting by Van Gogh, and in so doing, I realized that I can do this myself. I don't have to copy somebody else. And so after, it took me over a year to do this piece. I did it in my garage, uninsulated, in lots of cold weather. But again, I learned so much by doing this one piece that I decided that I can do this. Briefly, my artist statement is to kind of tell you where I'm coming from. I am a biologist. I used to be a forester, so raw nature inspires me. My works tend to comment or make commentary on environmental issues, specifically, specifically in this show, climate change. And then my technique is unique, I think, after talking to lots of other mosaicists, and I'll show you a little bit about my technique. I was an artist in residence at Crater Lake National Park in Oregon, USA, and in the application process for being the artist in residence, I was asked to interpret what the park is going to experience with climate change. And so I'll be showing you a couple works that were inspired by that experience. And what I have shown right here is a little stone cottage that I was provided, and it's pointed right there to where that little stone cottage was. So it was a very cool place to think about art. This is the piece that I've donated to the museum. I call it Monet's Magpie, and I'll show you why in a minute. It's actually based off a photograph that I took in the Cascade Siskiyou National Monument in Oregon, not too far from Crater Lake. And it's where the forest changed from oak savanna, open forest, to a conifer forest. And it's a very special place where different plant communities come together. And I called it Monet's Magpie because Monet, a French Impressionist painter, painted a magpie in the snow scene, and I thought it would be appropriate to put that magpie into the mosaic. And it's sitting on this fence, and we have magpies in Oregon, but they exist at 1,000 feet lower in elevation than where I put this magpie on that fence. So the idea is that with climate change, those organisms that can move higher in elevation will do so, and that's what the magpie is doing here. He's moved to a new home. And just a closer up of my technique. I know a lot of you would kind of cringe when you look at this. It's a mess. When I'm working on my mosaics in close proximity, I think it looks like a mess too. So many times I have to step back. I have to put it on the floor or get on the ladder and look at it. Then I go, oh, okay, it's turning out okay. So let me talk about my method. I call it the fluid double reverse. And I call it fluid because I don't use adhesive in the first step. And it's a double reverse because I make my mosaic, I flip it, and then I flip it back again. So it's a double reverse. I make it in with the surface that I want to see. I flip it, I put adhesive on the substrate, put it on the back of the mosaic, and then flip it back. So it's a double reverse. Here's an example of my technique. All the tesserae are laid down without adhesive, so that's the fluid part. They do move. If I drop my tweezers or reach across, my sleeve will make everything move. So it's made my hair turn white. But what you see here is the mosaic. It's still not glued, not adhered to any substrate. It's sitting on a piece of plywood, and then the white border around it is cardboard with tape. So the cardboard holds the mosaic pieces from going off. And then I put on, it's a cut up sleeping bag foam, about that thick. And I use that to cushion the sandwich that you're gonna see. Sometimes the tesserae are different heights, and so by putting this foam on, it absorbs the differences in height. I then put another piece of plywood on top of that foam board, and then I clamp it down in the four corners. And then I make the flip. So now I've got it like this, now I've made the flip. Still no adhesive. I take it apart, and then we see the back side of the mosaic. Still no adhesive. Sometimes I do this. In this case, what I did was take a piece of clear glass and put adhesive on it and laid it on top of the back side of the mosaic. I put another piece of plywood on top of that, clamp it down, flip it again, and then this is the result. So now this mosaic is in the drying process. It now has adhesive onto that clear glass. And then this is the final piece. So again, my experience at Crater Lake National Park dealt with climate change, and one of the other things that's going to happen at that park, and probably lots of other places in the world where there are currently forests, we're going to have lots of forest fires, and so this is one of the pieces I've done with fire, and man, is part of the whole scene. And that was a lot quicker than I meant to talk. Thank you.